It's a wonderful session tonight, wonderful discussion, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll give you just a moment to log on as you indicate where you're logging on from. Once again, if you're tuning in, we are live from United Church here in Beaufort, South Carolina, the mother church of the legendary Frederick Coder. We realize we have our sister community, Hillside International Truth Center on in Atlanta, Georgia. Yay, Hillside, Namaskar. We have Unity Christian Church on from Memphis, Tennessee. God bless you. We have our friends on from New York. We have the group tuned in tonight from this evening from Honolulu, Hawaii. We bless you as well. I understand that there's a group tuning in from there. We have our friends from Melbourne, Australia tuning in tonight. And we're so grateful. Let us know where you're tuning in from so we can acknowledge you. We're so grateful to have you with us this evening. We will begin. If you are tuning in and you do for the first time and you do not have a copy of our resource guide, it's Health, Joy, and Prosperity for You by Reverend Frederick Coder. It's called Chicken for the Soul? So I encourage you to get your copy, and you can do so by going to hillsidechapel.org, logging on to the Truth and Treasure bookstore, and ordering your copy today. And while you're doing that, if you do not have a copy of the Daily Thought from the Hill, which is the monthly publication with a daily thought, a wonderful meditation for each day, we encourage you to get that as well. This is another resource guide for us that we'll continue to share for the remainder of this year, remainder of these sessions. So we'll begin with a daily thought. Today is Wednesday, August 28th. We'll affirm the affirmation 3 times, and then we'll affirm the message together. The affirmation says, I walk in the light of God. I walk in the light of God. Once again, I walk in the light of God. And let's read on. It says, wherever I go, I walk in the light of God. In the light of God, I can see what I cannot see with my human eyes. I can feel what I cannot feel with my human hands. In the light of God, I can go beyond self and connect with each person I meet. In the light of God, I can encounter each challenge with courage. I walk in the marvelous light of God, a beautiful light that warms my soul, a light that encourages me and shows me a path filled with heavenly treasures. In the marvelous light of God, there is no fear. Let's affirm that again. In the marvelous light of God, there is no fear. I walk in the marvelous light of God, knowing God is my supply. I walk in the light of God. I encourage others to walk in this light so they too can know the awesomeness of God. Thank you will in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is. And from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14, we read, therefore it is said, awake, O sleeper, and rise from your dead, and Christ shall give you light. Here is the reading. We're so grateful to the contributors, the writers of the Daily Thought today. So I encourage you at this time, as you are able to do so and to do so safely, to remove everything from your hands and from your lap. I believe we need the battery pack here. To do so, remove everything from your hand and from your lap as we prepare for a time of centering, a time of sacred stillness, a time of meditation. We're so grateful to have these moments, and maybe you've had a full day. Maybe it's been a very active day for you. We have this opportunity, this golden opportunity, to simply turn within for just a few minutes, to put all of that aside as we go within to that sacred center. And it's in that sacred center, friends, that we'll find all of the peace and joy that our our soul longs for, and we'll find that space and place of contentment. So let's become still, assuming that posture of stillness, of sacred listening, coming to your own breath, finding your own sacred center, breathing in deeply, bringing the breath in through your nose, part your lips, and let go. Let's do this together. Take a deep breath in and release. That feels good. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in as deeply as you can. Bring the breath in through your nose. Part your lips and let go with a nice, good sigh. And acknowledge how good it feels to simply release and to let go of all of the cares and worries and errors and mistakes, anything that has been pressing upon your consciousness, weighing upon your soul. Let's take one more deep breath in together. Breathe in deeply. And release. And for just a moment, I encourage you to become aware of your own breathing. Become settled enough in your own thinking, your own thought process, that you can hear your own heartbeat. You can feel your own pulse. As you listen to the Spirit within, be still. Be still in the presence. Find your thoughts roaming, simply come back to your breathing, to your own breath. Breathing gently. And our mantra, our affirmation this evening is, I walk in the light of God. Affirm that quietly within your own being. I walk in the light of God. And as you breathe in gently, allowing that affirmation to find root within your own soul, I walk in the light of God. I walk in the light of God. And knowing in truth that this light is not only within us, it's all around us and all about us. We live, we move, we breathe, we have our beingness in this light as this light expresses in us, through us, and as us. And so consciously project this light into every aspect of your life, world, and affairs. As we illumine the space where we are, preparing for an extraordinary session of the hour of blessings. With gratitude and thanksgiving, we affirm together, thank you, God, in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within. And so it is. Amen. And when you're ready, I invite you to gently open your eyes as you bring your attention to the space and place where you are, becoming aware of your body, becoming aware of your environment, and smiling on the outside as you smile on the inside, and take these arms and embrace yourself, love yourself, hold yourself. Give yourself a nice hour of blessings, hug and embrace as you're able, and love the other side so it feels included. It feels good. And as you're doing that, just know it's the love of God, the love of Spirit, the love of the universe loving you through your own love today. So if you have people around you, I encourage you to embrace them, share your love with them, let them know how much you love and appreciate them, and adore them for being the wonderful, beautiful expression of life that they are. And if you have pets around you, extend your love to your pets and to whatever expressions of life you have around you, extend your love tonight as we prepare for this session. And if you're tuning in, if you're just now tuning in, you are live with the Hour of Blessings uh, with the Science of Living Study Guide, week 35, lesson 34. We are live from United Church here in Beaufort, South Carolina, the mother church, the first church established by the legendary Reverend Frederick Eichencoder. And make sure you let us know where you're tuning in from. We want to hear from you, and we're happy to have our tech team, staff, leader person, Miss Dawn Peebles here. Dawn, come up to the mic. Come on. It's fine. Now, those of you tuning in, I want you to give Dawn a hand. Dawn holds it down here. I promise you. She does it all, and she's our tech person. She makes sure that we're live on the internet, live on Facebook, and she captures all of your comments and she reports them. So you want to say hello, Dawn? Hello. Thank you for all that you do. And please know how much we appreciate you. We thank God for you. And to all of our tech team, we think, why do you do it?
I love it.
Because you love it. All right. All right. Give Dawn a hand. It's your passion. All right. Thank you so much. So as you're sending your communications, your comments, Dawn will capture those here and share those with us tonight, as will other members of our tech team and the Hour Blessings team that serve so diligently every week for 35. This is our 35th week, 34th week. For the past 34, 35 weeks, this team, you've been carrying it. You've been making this possible. And I'm so grateful. We are so grateful to each and every one of you for your commitment, for your dedication, for your service to helping make these sessions available to the masses. So we want to hear your testimonies. If you're tuning in, please let us know if you have a testimony. We received one from Doris in Hawaii, who said she completed her vision board and it's wonderful, and she's excited about the things that are manifesting and coming into expression right now. So Doris in Hawaii, and the Judy and Sean Sweet, Anne and Lisa, we're sending light and love your way. Aloha, as we're sending our blessings to you. So friends, we're continuing these sessions of working with the power of our mind. Well, we realize that as we work with the mind, and in working with your mind, you can be, and this was the catchphrase, Reverend Ike's catchphrase of this whole Science of Living teachings. If in working with the power of your mind correctly, you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have what you want to have, and you can experience all the good that your soul desires to experience by applying the techniques that we're sharing and discussing through the Science of Living study, the techniques of self-awareness, the techniques of affirmation, of visualization, and repetition. And we're going to be talking about these over and over, probably in every session we'll be talking about these, because these are the techniques that can't lose, steps that we can use to bring forth the good and the desired good of our souls into manifestation. That will lead us to total well-being, health, success, peace of mind, prosperity, love of self, love of life, love of God, love of all that is good, and plenty of money. Those of you who've been working with this money concept, make sure you catch it tonight. Tune in tonight. We're going to shake the money tree again for those of you who need to shake it. So we are studying this whole process, and the purpose of which is that we're getting our mind right. We're bringing the mind back into alignment, coming back to truth, coming back to the truth of who and what we are in and as God, and who and what God is in, through, and as us. We're bringing our mind back into alignment with the divine mind, the God mind. And as we're getting this right, we're getting our thinking right. We get our lives right. We get our world right. We can make our body right, and all of our affairs, our prosperity, our money, everything gets right. For we realize that when you are right with yourself, and we've shared this before, I'll bring it here on the screen. When you are right with yourself, everything you will draw the right people and the right conditions and the right circumstances and situations to you. And this is the process of spiritual transformation. That's what it's all about. Spiritual transformation is all about getting it right, getting the mind right, getting ourselves right by renewing our mind, as Paul says in Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God, of good. So as we're getting our mind right, and our thinking, and our speaking, and our feeling, and our believing, our self-image, our self-definition right, we are getting right with God. There's that old song we used to sing at Williams Grove Missionary Baptist Church, get right with God and do it now. And that's getting the mind right, coming back into alignment with the truth, with the mind of God. And that's what renewing the mind in this context of science of living means. It means the adjustment of our vision and thinking to the mind of God. So when we are renewing the mind, as Paul says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind, it is suggesting to adjust your mind, your vision, and your thinking to the mind of God, the mind of good that knows only good and wholeness and life and love and joy and all of the bliss of life. It says what we put into our mind will impact our lives and our lifestyle, our approach to God, our understanding of self, and the way that we show up in life. So we are getting right, and we're called to get right, getting right with ourselves. When we engage and participate in things that are out of line and out of alignment with the truth of our being, with the truth of God, friends, then our thinking shifts and we find ourselves vibrating on lower frequencies, and we're subject to all of the things on the lower frequencies. So when the mind isn't right, when your thinking is out of order, we start drawing all of this chaos to us, because that's the law that we're working with. It's the law of the law of mind, as within, so without. As it says in Proverbs, as a man or mind thinks, so is he, so is she. And our thinking magnetizes us, and it draws to us the corresponding manifestations. And that can come in physical conditions, as health, as well-being, as total well-being, as goodness. It can come in the form of tangible substance and relationships, interactions, anything in the outer, the corresponding manifestations, as it is also reflected in our state of being and how you see yourself and go about the day, how you embrace life and engage in life. So all of this has to do with our thinking, our mentality, and that's why it's important that we continue to emphasize our thoughts and the power of our thoughts. In fact, it is the third foundational tenet of these teachings that we call New Thought or Higher Consciousness teachings, and that is the power and value of our thought. And it's through the thought that we're able to connect with the mind of God, that infinite mind, as Ernest Holmes says, the divine mind. It's through our ability to think and to think right that we're able to tap into that divine mind within us. So as thought changes, all conditions must change in order to be in harmony with the creator. And the creator of the condition is thought. Say, my thought is the creator of my condition. Together. My thought is the creator of my condition. Now let's say, my thoughts are the creator of my conditions. Together. My thoughts are the creator of my conditions. And so, as we're getting our thinking and becoming more conscious of our thoughts and our thought process and how we come to form these thoughts and the beliefs that we put behind them and the feeling that we put behind them, then we're better able to understand how to change conditions, undesirable conditions in our life, world, and affairs. These teachings, if and when applied fully and completely, will give us a toolkit that we can use to know this truth and to express the truth of ourselves and become the master of our own thought and our thinking. And that's what it's leading us to become masters, the Karana Janma, Karana, Janma, Janma, Karana Janma, a master born with a purpose. It's the first master, the mastering of self. We are masters, called to be masters of self, to master ourselves, master our thinking, master our feeling, master whatever is happening in our life, world, and affairs, and not to be mastered by it. And I know sometimes it's easier said than done. I have to work on that with myself because it's easy to get mastered by your emotions, mastered by feelings, mastered by conditions, circumstances, situations. But when we realize that these conditions, circumstances, situations are coming to help us step back into that space and place of knowing who and what we are in God, who and what God is in us, and utilizing the power that we have to shift those things in our lives, then we're better able to do that. We can do it. It won't take as long to do it as well. So you are called to be the master of your thoughts, the master of your thinking. And remember, all of this leads to consciousness. And that is the one thing that is everything, consciousness. And when we talk about consciousness, it's our awareness. We become aware, conscious thinkers. We become aware thinkers. We are conscious of what we're thinking. We're conscious of what we're creating. And we're conscious, we are aware of how our thoughts create the things in our life, in our world, and in our affairs. So in these sessions, we are working with the one thing that is everything, and that is consciousness. And the more we become aware of it, and the more we think think on the things that we want to see expressed in our life, world, and affairs, then we are tapping into this universal power. The universal, it's extraordinary power that comes in and support the manifestation and bringing these thoughts that we're thinking on predominantly into expression into our life, world, and affairs. Okay, it says whatever happens in your life, as we said previously, is decided by your own state of mind according to consciousness be it done unto you. Friends, this is the importance of working on consciousness. And, we often hear the question, why are you always talking about consciousness? As Joel Goldsmith says, consciousness is what I am. Everything is consciousness. And so we're called to become aware of that. Okay. So last week we talked about, we were on lesson 33, and we talked about the importance of feeding your mind right ideas. And the overarching thought was what you feed your mind becomes your experience. And I got communications last week that you were feeding your mind good breakfast and good lunch and good dinner. We're going to talk about that tonight as well. The Science of Living principle last week reminded us that your subconscious mind accepts whatever ideas you feed it and brings them into your experience. And as it says in Deuteronomy 8:3, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. You become what you feed your mind. We hear this often, as we were reminded in lesson 33, that the saying is that we become what we eat. You become what you feed your mind. Your mind will always believe everything you tell it. Therefore, feed your mind faith. Feed it truth, feed it love, feed it positivity, feed it possibilities. Feed your mind possibilities. Affirm this with me. I am feeding my mind infinite possibilities. I am feeding my mind possibilities. Feast on that. It says feed your mind good, nutritious mind food. And you'll see how your mind will work for you and begin to work on your behalf even while you're sleeping. Your mind will work to bring forth the good that you are entertaining through the books that you read, through the movies that you watch, through the music that you listen to, the people that you spend time with in conversation, and those that you engage with. Your mind will begin to work on your behalf. And I understand, as we receive some testimonies here, like Coretta Williams in Memphis, Tennessee says, she's been feeding her mind, and she's been receiving more money and everything that she says, I have been receiving more money and everything that I have been desiring since the 7-day spiritual diet you gave us last week. Oh, wow. Thank you, God. and Bishop Jack. All right, Miss Coretta, you keep working that, feeding your mind the right stuff, doing that 7 day spiritual diet, and let it continue to work for you. You haven't gotten all the money that's available for you yet. There's more money, there's more good waiting for you. Keep working it. If it's worked for you over these past 7 days, do it the next 7 days. In fact, commit to a 21-day spiritual diet and let those next 21 days be the richest 21 days that you've ever experienced. We're happy to have Kumu Brendan, Dr. Robert, Reverend Dr. Robert Gore on from Las Vegas. See you, Teresa Corso, Melbourne, Australia. Asheville, John Caprell, Asheville, North Carolina. And our friends on from Honolulu, Hawaii. Queens, New York, Annette Gilbert, United Nations Church of New York. We thank you for being tuned in tonight. As there is truly a blessing as we invoke this, we speak it, we call forth the blessing upon this session, upon each one of you who are tuned in. So, friends, in the previous session, we discussed the importance of telling your mind what to think. You have to tell your mind what to think. And if you do not tell your mind what to think, I promise you something or someone outside of you are probably telling your mind what to think. Proverbs 4:23 admonishes us to keep thy heart, as we said last week, with all diligence, for out of it are the issues, or out of it flows the issues or the experiences of life. In the metaphysical, esoteric teachings, as we're emphasizing through these sessions, we understand, as we said in the last session, the word heart is referring to the subconscious mind. It says, keep your subconscious mind with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues and the experiences of life. And remember, your subconscious mind does not know how to reject. It's like the refrigerator. It just takes it in. It takes it in. It's on constant record, like the recorder. It records constantly. The conversations we have, the things that we watch on TV, the music that we listen to, all of that makes an impression on the subconscious phase of our being. The subconscious mind does not know how to reject. It does not know how to discriminate. All it knows to do is take it in. It's the big receiver of the soul. Just give it to me, says the subconscious mind. And then it begins to play this stuff back out through our life experiences. Scripture, this a passage from Proverbs, admonishes us to keep our subconscious mind, our heart, with all diligence, be very mindful, be very conscious of what seeds are being sown into the fertile soil of the soul, which is the subconscious. Be mindful to keep feeding your subconscious mind the things, the ideas, the beliefs that you want to manifest in your life, and only those things, those ideas and beliefs that you want to see manifest in your life. Why is this important? Why is this important? Because whatever we put into our heart, into the subconscious mind, friends, is what we're going to get out of it. That's why it's important. Whatever we put in there, it's going to come out. It has to. And whatever we're putting in right now, and all of the truth and these principles and these teachings that we're pouring in right now, and if we allow it and don't allow the conscious mind to block it, then you'll begin to see, and more of these ideas manifesting in your life, world, and affairs. It says, whatever you put into your heart, whatever you put into your subconscious mind, that is what you're going to get out of it. And so we're called to be even conscious of the stuff that we read, magazines that we read, articles that we read. And I've gotten into this thing now, and it doesn't mean that these things aren't important in the world. There's certain things that I just do not focus my attention on, because I know that my soul has gotten to a point, especially with the negativity. You know, we remember the subconscious is it leans towards the negative, because that's how it's been conditioned over the years since you were in your mother's womb. We've been given negativity, all negativity all of our life. And so it is prone, or it leans towards the negativity. And the moment you hear it, your subconscious catches itself. The feeling is invoked and evoked. And that's why it shows up in our life. So I've reached a point where I just cannot give certain things my attention, because I know if I do it, eventually it's just a matter of time. If I have not canceled it out, it's going to show up in my experience. Even when I'm in conversation, people want to talk, and We have, I don't do counseling. I'll pray with you. I'll lead you to the all knower. I'll lead you to where you can get the answer. And that's in prayer. But when I hear people, they want to tell me their woes, all of their lows and the woes. And there are times if I'm on the phone, I will let the window down and let that go on out the window. Don't want it in my soul. I cannot have it in there unless I'm going to cancel it as it's being said. Cancel that. Become the gatekeeper of your soul. And that's all right for you to do. Become the watchman and the watchwoman, the watch person of your soul. Be very watchful, be very mindful of what's trying to enter the realm of your mind, of your soul, your subconscious. And anything, you hear anything, I don't care if it's coming from a loved one, anything that you don't want showing up in your life, world, and affairs, you can be respectful, hear them, but within you cancel that out. I cancel that. I cancel that. I cancel that. That is not my truth. So it does not become part of your experience. This is your individual presence of mind should be operated by you and given strict orders lovingly and joyfully by you. If you do not tell your mind, if you do not stand guard of your own mind, the world can have your mind confused. And the world we refer to the world of race consciousness. And that's the consciousness of the masses. And you can see that all around as you give your attention to it. And it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear that leads to depression and anger and frustration and feeling as though that there's no use, feeling that feelings of defeat. And so as we give our attention to that, then it will begin to show up in our life, in our world, and in our affairs. So we were asked last week to be conscious of what are we feeding our mind? What are you feeding your mind? And what are you allowing to feed your mind? And Coretta mentioned that she went on this spiritual 7-day spiritual diet. We talked about breakfast food. And if you did not do that, if you're tuning in for the very first time tonight, catch this, please. And for the next 7 days, make sure you give yourself this wonderful breakfast food, spiritual breakfast food that will serve you. So we talked about it last week. Each morning, began each morning with a good, nutritious spiritual breakfast by affirming, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. God in me is my unlimited source of all good. How many of you had breakfast in bed this week? Indicated if you're tuned in, type it up. If you had breakfast in bed, you served yourself breakfast in bed this week, let us know. Don's going to let me know who had breakfast in bed this week. How many of you had breakfast for dinner? I did. I've been saying this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and for snacks. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. God in me is my unlimited source of all good. Friends, try that on. Feast on that. Enjoy the spiritual breakfast and allow it to serve you. So you wake up feasting on that. And we understand that breakfast means to break fast. So the moment your eyes open, break fast and know and affirm this truth for yourself. We talked about spiritual snacks, of never allowing your mind to go hunger or to hunger for positive things, positive thoughts, or positive ideas. And if you have a prayer partner, this is the beauty of having a prayer partner. You have someone in your life that you can connect with on a daily or regular basis. It could be your spouse. You all began to engage in the spiritual food and allow it to nourish you. And you can share this with each other. It says, never allow your mind to hunger for positive thoughts or positive ideas. Snack on positive beliefs, snack on positive ideas, snack on positive ideas of health all throughout the day. Snack on positive ideas of happiness and love and success and prosperity. And you'll see, and if you've been feeling low and in that low space, you'll see how those snacks will raise the vibration, your own vibration. And whenever you're lifted up, remember, Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men, women, and boys and girls unto me. I will draw all corresponding manifestations unto me. So as you feast on good, positive ideas, these ideas will flow into your subconscious mind And your subconscious mind will digest these positive ideas from the mind of God in you. That's some good stuff. As you feast on these positive ideas and beliefs, your subconscious mind will begin to digest it. Digest all of these positive ideas from the mind of God in you and prepare you to experience the good that you desire. Oh, that's fine. Feast on it. Feast on it. Make it your business. If you don't have affirmations that you remember, using your I am, that's your self identity, your self definition, the start of your self definition. If you do not have positive affirmations using your I am, and Joel, who's the pastor, Lakewood, Joel Osteen has this wonderful book. He wrote it many years ago using the same material, the I am book. Get you some I am statements and allow that to be your snack. And throughout the day, you affirm it. Affirm it over and over. I am healthy, whole, and complete. I'm wise, loving, and enjoying the beauty and the beauty and bliss of life. So get you some I am statements and allow that to be your snack throughout the day. I'm healthy, whole, and complete. If you're working with health and wholeness, work with that and allow it to work with you. We also talked about your lunch food. The presence of God in me heals me, prospers me, and keeps me well. Together, the presence of God in me heals me, prospers me, and keeps me well. Lift your hands, extend your arms, and eat you some good spiritual lunch right now. Together, the presence of God in me heals me, prospers me, and keeps me well. You feast on that and allow it to serve you. You're sending this food, this nutritious spiritual food to your subconscious to digest from the mind of God in you. And the subconscious will prepare you to experience the fruit of your own words, of your own decree. It says a balanced spiritual meal, breakfast, gratitude, lunch, forgiveness, dinner, love, dessert, joy will serve you and serve you well. Feed your mind right ideas, and your mind will lead you to the ways and means of manifesting those good ideas in your life and your life experiences. All right. So get you a good idea. Have yourself a good idea party this week. And that's all you're going to do. Invite your friends, your family. Say, hey, we're focusing on good ideas. You says, well, the saying is that small-minded people talk about other people. And if you've been talking about other people, you're small-minded. If you've been listening to people talk about other people, you've been engaging in small-mindedness. It says average-minded people talk about events. You talk about what's happening in the world. You're just an old average mind. But great-minded people talk about ideas, because it's through those ideas, great-minded people are able to bring those ideas into manifestation. You get into the theater of your mind, look upon the stage of your imagination, and get you some idea partners and have yourself an idea party this week. And that's all you're going to do is feast on some good positive. There's nothing like a good positive idea to feast on. Feast on it and allow it to serve you. You got it? All right. So we're going to move on to lesson 34. 4 steps to get what you want. For those of you who've been trying to get it, you've been trying to bring it in, but that ship has not come yet. I want you to listen up and listen up well, because the word is here. Reverend Ike has given us some steps, guides that we can use to help bring the ship in. You don't have to keep sitting on the dock of the bay, waiting on your good and watching the tide roll away. It says, what you seek is seeking you. Say it with me. What I seek is seeking me. Say it again. What I am seeking is seeking me. Once again, what I am seeking is seeking me. It says, decide what you want, believe you can have it, believe you deserve it, believe it's possible for you. From Rhonda Burns. The Science of Living principle tonight says you have within you the infinite power of God to bring into existence whatever good you want to be, to do, and to have. I'll say it again. You have within you the infinite power of God to bring into existence whatever good you want to be, to do, and to have. Let's make this personal. I have within me the infinite power of God to bring into existence whatever good I want to be, to do, and to have. And from Proverbs 29:18, we hear, where there is no vision, the people perish. Friends, you got to always have a vision. Always have a vision. Even if you don't have your vision for nothing is a vision. And that's why you go get nothing. Always have a vision that you're conscious of, a vision that's going to work for you. Don't just say, well, I have a vision for nothing. No, nothing. Anything will do. No, no, no. That's exactly what you're going to get. It says you have within you the infinite power of God to bring into existence whatever good you want to be, to do, and to have. Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people perish. Job 22, verse 28. What you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. And then from Mark 11:24, whatever things you desire, when you pray, believe that you will receive them and you will have them. Oh, powerful, simple statements. That's why, it says Jesus' teachings were so simple. And because they're so simple, that what it makes it so complicated, because we have been conditioned to believe the more complicated things are, the better they are, the more powerful and potent they are. It says, God in you, that mystic power within you, has and uses strange and unusual ways, my friends, to bring you out of conditions, to bring you into new situations, to bring you over experiences, to bring you from under, and to bring any good that your soul might be desiring. I'll say it again. God in you, the God in you can use that mystic power within you has strange and unusual ways to bring you your good. Don't try to figure it out, the how or the who, the where, the when. That the good shall come forth into your experience. Just focus on what it is and allow that mystic power within you to do it through expected and unexpected ways. So let's go right now to page, in my book, it's 183. We're going to read a bit. Lesson 34, chapter 34. 4 steps to get what you want. And then we're going to come back and expound upon these ideas once again. And I'll begin at 183. It says, in this lesson, I have outlined 4 steps to help you to bring the good you want into existence. Study and meditate upon each and every step, each and every day. So make that note. For the next 7 days, I want you to study each and every step daily and watch how it will work for you. It says they are to be studied over and over, not just read once and forgotten. These steps must become a part of you. As you discipline and condition your mind in this way, the good which you desire will come to you in ways that are past finding out. And that's from Romans chapter 11, verse 33. Number 1, decide it. Number 2, believe it. Number 3, see it. Number 4, feel it. Decide it. Your decision defines what you want. Believe it. Belief is the mental acceptance. Mentally accept whatever it is now. See it in your mind. Feel it in your heart. So let's pause and begin to look at these 4 steps that Reverend Ike has given us. And these, you'll see this slide here. This is a quote from Paramahansa Yogananda, who is considered the founder of the movement of the Self-Realization Fellowship. It says, if you want to be sad, no one in the world can make you happy because you've decided to be sad. If you make up your mind to be happy, no one and nothing on earth can take that happiness from you because you have decided to be happy. You got that? So it says the God within you has ways of bringing about that which you decide you want. You must make the decision of exactly what it is that you want. The first step of this 4-step process, once again, is to decide. And we have worked with this step previously. We've talked about it before in previous sessions. Getting definite with the infinite. And that's what making the decision does. When you decide, when I decide, when we decide, we are getting definite with the infinite. And when we get definite with the infinite God, the infinite good, the infinite God, the infinite good can get definite with us. The question that you're encouraged to ask is, what is your desired outcome? What do you want out of your life? What is it that you want? The first step is to get absolutely crystal clear about what you want. Clarity is power. And many people can tell you they don't know what they want, but they know what they don't want. And they're focusing on what they don't want. They're very clear about what they don't want. And that clarity is power. And because they're focusing on what they don't want, they often get more of what they don't want. What do you want? What is it that your soul is longing for? How is God in you desiring to be actualized today? In what form and what expression? If you can see all of this as we're only actualizing God, we're actualizing spirit, and we're actualizing God through these different expressions of life. It says the more precise you are, the stronger your vision will be, and the more you empower your brain to come up with ways to turn that vision into reality. This is the power of a vision board. This is why it's important that for those of you who have not done your vision board, those of you who maybe don't even know what it is, go on to hillsidechapel.org. If you have not done it already, go to Truth and Treasure Bookstore and order your copy of your vision board today and the booklet, Treasure Mapping. It's giving the mind a definite impression, a definite idea to work for. It says, the more precise we are, the stronger our vision will be. And the more you empower your brain to come up with ways to turn that vision into reality. It says, decide what you want right now and in the future, and to get laser focused on it. Become very clear. Give your brain direction. What do you want? What do you want? That was a question that Jesus asked the young man who was visually impaired. And he cried out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus asked, well, what do you want from me? What do you want? He says, I want to see. He had to get definite with the infinite. He had to become so clear in his soul what it is that he wanted. He made that vision clear, and clarity, his clarity became power. Friends, the stronger your vision, the more you empower your brain to work on ways to bring your vision and your good ideas into reality. It says, what do you, Job from chapter 22, verse 28 says, once again, you will decide on a matter and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways. It says here, and you've heard this before, some sources suggest that the average person makes 35,000 decisions every day. Assuming that most people spend around 7 hours per day sleeping, that's roughly 2,000 decisions per hour, or one decision every 2 seconds. Become conscious of that. Let's see what the Reverend says. Go back to under decided. First, decide what it is that you want. A very simple question to ask yourself every day is this one. What do I want? Write that down on a piece of paper and put that on your mirror, so that every morning as you prepare for the day, you can ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And I have this process, and if it works for you, please use it. In my prayer meditation time every morning, I ask the Spirit in me, what is your vision for this life today? What is the highest vision and purpose for this life today? Bring it forth. Bring forth the vision. That's what I want. The highest and purpose vision for this life today. And I get in that seat of seeing it, calling it forth. It says, although that is a simple question, many people have never answered it for themselves. Many people can't decide what it is that they want. And many others believe that no matter what they want, they can't have it. So this holds them back from getting what they want. And I'm telling you to leave all those thoughts of I can't behind. Tell yourself you can be, you can do, and you can have what you want. Sometimes I find it necessary to shock people into making a decision. When people come to me and they're undecided in their minds, oftentimes I'll say to them, what in the hell do you want? See, they don't expect to hear a minister cuss. Some people will be so shocked, they'll blurt out, I really don't know. Well, how in the world are you going to get something if you haven't decided what it is that you want? So, friends, decide. Decide. Get definite with the infinite. Decide what it is that you want so the infinite can get definite with you. The decision is yours to make, and only you can make that. That's step one. We're going to move to step number two. Believe it. As we were reminded, belief is mental acceptance. When you believe something, you mentally accept it for yourself. In order to accomplish your goals and to achieve your good purposes, you have to believe that you have to believe. You have to mentally accept what you want. And so it's believing that it's possible, believing that you deserve it, believe that you can have, you can do, you can experience it. Believe in the goodness, infinite goodness. Believe in the infinite power of God in you. Let's see what he says about that. Number two, it says, when you believe something, you mentally accept it for yourself. In order to accomplish your goals and achieve your good purposes, you have to believe. You have to mentally accept what you want. Do not be discouraged by those around you who tell you that you cannot accomplish your goals. Remember that the world is full of wonders that people said could not be done. Believe in the infinite goodness, the infinite power of God in you. When you believe, you can achieve any and every goal you set for yourself. As it says, when you believe in yourself, you become unstoppable. Oh, that's a good one. That's step number two. We're moving along. If you have questions, comments, please let it be indicate that as you type it on your screen. Number three, step number three, see it. This is the third step of getting what you want. You have to see it. Use your imagination to see your good desires, your dreams, and your goals. What you see, as Flip Wilson says, is what you get. Whatever you want, see it in your mind. Use the power of visualization to draw it near to you, to give it form. And this is a wonderful power that we have, the power of our imagination and visualization, the ability to envision, to call forth those things that be not as though they were. It says, whatever you can see yourself with in your mind, you will bring into your experience. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand, says Bob Proctor. Whatever you can see yourself with in your mind, you will bring it into your experience. And so this calls us to go into the theater of the mind. And you hear this expression often. Enter the theater of the mind. Think of your mind as a theater where you produce the dramas of your life, the dramas of yourself, being what you want to be, doing what you want to do, and having what you want to have. Imagine your mind as a theater. The theater of your mind is a place in mind where we produce the dramas of our lives. And once you go there, get into the nowness of consciousness that is happening now. In the theater of my mind, you see the good. You've decided on what it is. You believe that it's possible. You believe in the infinite power of God in you to bring it forth into expression. And now you are seeing it forth. You're in the theater of your mind, and you're looking upon the stage of your imagination, the place in mind where you act out the vision. See it happening. And in visualization, and from seeing it, believing it, you've decided on it, then it moves us to step number 4, which is so important. So visualization leads us to a feeling. And I did this recently. I think I shared this story, and I wish the young man would get on and share his testimony. A gentleman wanted a new position, and he wanted a new car. And just recently, I think I shared this story before, over the past month, he wanted a new car. I'm like, okay, we're sitting in the office. I'm like, well, what do you want? What kind of car do you want? He says, I really don't know. I'm like, well, okay, you want an old car, new car, whatever you want? He says, I want a new car. So we went into visualization, took him to visualization, and began to center the self, center the thoughts, focus the thoughts, enter that sacred stillness, and he began to see the vehicle that he wanted. And when he came out of that meditation, he had the details, exactly the make, the model. It was new, the color. And that's what he's bringing forth into his experience now. And he's driving right now, and he called me today, a brand new vehicle. He didn't know how it was going to happen. He didn't even have a job then. It doesn't cost a dime to use the power of your mind. Baby, you better use this stuff. He didn't even have a job, and he wanted a new car. You know, God will use, what's the scripture? God would use the simple things to confound the wise. Yeah, you don't have to have any money in your pocket to use your mind. It doesn't cost you a dime to use the power of your mind. He got in, he used the power of his mind. He entered the theater of his mind. He looked upon the stage of his imagination, and he created himself a new vehicle. And the job that he has will give him a new lease vehicle that he doesn't even have to pay for. It will pay his gas to drive it. And that's what I'm talking about. You're going to build it. You're going to create it right. Just don't see yourself in a new car or in a new house. See yourself in a new car that's paid for, or in a new house that's paid for, a house that your mortgage is paid for. You don't have to have a 30-year mortgage. And you're going to get in the theater of your mind and look upon the stage of your imagination. See yourself with what you want and make sure it's all of what you want. And don't half-step, because God isn't a half-stepping God. You got it? So if you're going to see yourself with anything new, make sure it's paid for. I paid for it in consciousness. And the currency, remember, there's a currency, there's a price that we got to pay for everything. There's no free lunches. You have to pay the price. And the price, the currency is consciousness. You pay the price with spiritual currency, with your own consciousness, your own ability to see, become aware, and to believe that it's possible. And you hold that. You got it? So anybody who's creating any new house, new car, make sure you create it already paid for. So you can tithe, you'll give your tithe to the church, wherever you're attending. You got that? All right. So you got to get the mental equivalent. Now let's do this treatment. We got to see ourselves right. You got to see it. You got to see the good. You got to see health. You got to see total well-being. Affirm this. In fact, if you have somebody around you, I think we did this treatment before. Get someone, if you have them around you, and I want you to affirm this: you sure look mighty healthy, happy, and prosperous, beloved child of God. You sure look, meaning I see you as healthy, happy, and prosperous, beloved child of God. In fact, let's say that. I see you as healthy, happy, and prosperous, beloved child of God. And then let's affirm it for ourselves. I see myself as healthy, happy, and prosperous, beloved child of God. I see myself as a healthy, happy, and prosperous, beloved child of God. So you get in the theater of your mind, look upon the stage of your imagination, and see the good that you want. Now, friends, deciding it, believing it, and seeing it is not enough. You have to feel it. Remember, there is a law. There's another law that we work with, and that's the law of feeling. We must feel the good desires into expression. Feel the presence and power of God working to bring your good purposes into reality. We must feel it. Why is this important? Why must we feel the good? Remember, we impress our subconscious mind with the good through our feeling. Once we see the good, then we impress the subconscious mind with that good desire through the feeling. You see it in visualization, you believe it, get the feeling of it, that it is already. The young man got the feeling of driving that car. I'm like, well, what does it smell like? Tell me, how does it feel? Put your hand on the steering wheel, and he felt it. Your visualization, your belief will go before you and lead you to all the ways and means of manifesting that which you desire, but your feeling will bring that thing into expression. You got it? Visualization, belief, deciding will lead you there, but your feeling will get the blessing. When an idea reaches a subconscious level and is impressed upon the subconscious, it is impressed there as feeling. Our feeling must correspond with and align with the desired good. Remember, your feeling gets the blessing. No feeling, no blessing. This is why when we pray, we meditate, we sing, we said it before, we do all of this. We do the vision board. We do the affirmations. We do the denials. We do all of this to get a feeling, to reach a particular feeling vibration, to impress the feeling nature. And once we impress the feeling nature, we have awakened the power, the mana, as it's the word is in Hawaii, Polynesian culture. We have awakened the mana of the soul. The feeling is spirit. We have awakened that imprisoned splendor. And we do that by feeling. You get the feeling of it. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And as you consider the good that your soul desires so greatly tonight, get the feeling. Make sure that your feeling corresponds with it. It says we must get the feeling of, and for the good we desire, we must get the feeling of the heavenly treasure. And the heavenly treasure in this context is the divine self-awareness. It's correct self-knowledge. The knowledge of who and what God is in you and who and what you are in God. This knowledge, this divine self-knowledge makes us rich. This knowledge, this divine self-knowledge makes us well. This knowledge, this divine self-knowledge makes us whole and complete within and without. This is the heavenly treasure. The old song says, if you live right, heaven belongs to you. You have the consciousness to be, the consciousness to do, the consciousness to have, the consciousness to experience all that your soul longs to do, longs to experience. So you decide what it is. Believe in the power of God in you. See it by entering the theater of your mind, looking upon the stage of your imagination. Not only see the good, don't just see the good, don't just see the new house, but see yourself with it. Because if you don't see yourself with it, somebody else might get it. You got it? Don't just see a new car, but see yourself with that new car and see the title in your name. You got that? See yourself with it, and then you get the feeling. For the presence of God in you is your everlasting source of all good, and the presence of God in you wants you to have it, wants to bring it forth into your experience. And when you discover this source, when we discover the source of all good within our own mind and being, all needful things are added unto us, and everything else that we want. Friends, this is a power. How do you get what you want? Right here, these 4 steps. Decide on what it is. Get definite with the infinite. Believe in the power of God in you to bring it forth into expression. See yourself with it right now, not in the future, in the distant by and by, somewhere in the sky. Don't wait for your pie in the sky. Get your pie right here now. And then feel yourself as the one who deserves to have it. Feel yourself as the one who has it right now. When you know and feel the God in you, and only the God in you is your source of all good, then no one, no thing can take that away from you. You don't have to worry about if anybody going to steal it, rob you of it, try to take it from you, connive you out of it, cheat you out of it. No. It says, when you know and feel that God in you and only God in you is your source of all good, then no one, no thing, no system, no agency, no organization can take that away from you. The presence of God in you may use many different people now and many different things to deliver your good to you. However, no person or thing is your source. God is your source. Any questions? Any comments? Okay, let's take this affirmation. On that note, let's do this affirmation. This is not our closing treatment. I encourage you to capture this affirmation to help nurture the feeling this week. As you affirm it as part of your spiritual diet. God in me, and only God in me, is my source and abundant supply. I lift up the divine presence of God in me. I feel the heavenly treasure within me, seeking fulfillment and expression in, through, as my life, my world, and affairs right here and right now. I feel good about the heavenly treasure within me, and I rejoice because of it. All right. So as a recap, if you have a group or if you have a prayer partner this week, if you don't, I encourage you to maybe get with someone that you can do this with. Make sure you, as a recap, decide it. And once you decide it, write it out. Write whatever it is that you've decided that you're ready to actualize and express in your life. Believe it, see it, get your vision board if you have to, if you haven't done it already, and then feel it. Get in the process of feeling it. And so as you get with your prayer partner this week, make sure you go through that 4-step process of see it, not only seeing it for yourself, you see it for each other. And then you feel it, get the feeling of it. That's why I enjoy good news. I just love hearing good news. I love it when people call me with good news and the feeling of that. And I love to share and to join in that excitement where I know that excitement, that feeling gets the blessing. And that feeling is the Spirit. It's the Spirit of God. And as you stir that up within your own being, you'll see how it will draw it to you as well. All right, friends, I think that we're at the end of this discussion. If there are no questions, any comments, Don, feel free to bring those. Okay. Then let's prepare our gifts and our offerings. Those of you who are on the 52-week Prosperity Pathway Challenge, we're so grateful. Please, we are in week 35 tonight, so you want to make sure that you have $35 in that envelope. Those of you who are tuning in, you have an opportunity to give online and via any of the sites, however you're tuned in, if it's ucbeaufort.com, hillsidechapel.org, and if you're tuning in via Facebook, I believe that there are ways that you can give as well. Is that correct? You can give, click the donate icon, and you be a giver as well. This week, and then give your regular offering. So get those prepared as I share with you your assignment this week. In addition to all those other things that we've talked about, and I encourage you to go on YouTube and look up the video, "Believe It, See It, and Receive It" by Reverend Ike. It's going to bless your heart. It's going to bless your soul tremendously. "Believe It, See It, and Receive It" by Reverend Ike. And then you can go and download this MP3, "Your Prosperity God" by Reverend Ike. And you can get to this on store.revike.com. Store.revike.com. So I encourage you to get this MP3 and then to go on YouTube this week and download "Believe It, See It, and Receive It" by Reverend Ike. Okay? Now let's take our gifts and our offerings, however you are prepared to give. We circulate it. So I invite you to get in that, get in the consciousness of circulation, where we understand that it's all God and it's all good. We are the inlet and the outlet of God. I am the inlet and the outlet of God together. I am the inlet and the outlet of God. I am the inlet and the outlet of good together. I am the inlet and the outlet of good. I am the inlet and the outlet of money together. I am the inlet and the outlet of money. I am the constant circulation of money. So as you continue to circulate, as you affirm with me, I see God. I sense God. I feel God multiplying this seed right now and returning it to me as a never-ending cycle of increase, love, peace of mind, joy, plenty, and prosperity. Thank you, God, in me for prosperity today. And so it is. So I encourage you to circulate your gifts, and we will give the closing treatment. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, for those of you who are in the Atlanta area, on Sunday, this Sunday, September 1st, Mary Ann Williamson, author, lecturer, now U.S. presidential candidate, Mary Ann Williamson will be the speaker at the 10 a.m. service. That's at Hillside International Truth Center, located at 2450 Cascade Road Southwest. Make sure you are there and get there early if you are in and around the area. Make it your business to get there early. It's going to be an extraordinary Sunday. Sunday kicks off the 48th anniversary of Hillside International Truth Center, founded by the legendary Bishop Barbara Lewis King, my spiritual mother. And we'll be celebrating this month. And we encourage you to come and be a part of it, a month-long celebration, the first Sunday, which is Sunday, September 1st. Make sure you are there for Mary Ann Williamson as she brings a message of inspiration that will inspire your heart and your mind. We just celebrated 57 years here at United Church, and we're so grateful for all of those of you who came to help make it such an extraordinary weekend. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come and be a part of the experience and to help make it so special. So, you collected your offerings. You're ready for your closing treatment. Okay, so stand as you're able and extend your hands and your arms. We're going to get this word in. Making your decisions. Get your soul ready. Get your subconscious ready. Move your arms. Flap your wings if you have to. As you affirm after me, my decisions have power. The moment I make a decision, everything necessary for the fulfillment of my decision begins to happen right here and right now. I decide clearly in my mind what I want to be, what I want to do, and what I want to have and experience. I know exactly what I want. I have decided in my heart and in my mind. I believe in the good which I desire. I see it. I feel myself being what I want to be, doing what I want to do, and having what I want to have. My positive thinking leads me to positive action, and I get positive results. This is the truth of my life, and I give thanks. Thank you, God, in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is. Now let's go higher. As we prepare to go forward from this space and place wherever you are, you go forth in the consciousness of blessings, knowing that you are always under the spout where the blessings are pouring out. Your consciousness is primed for the goodness of life. For God in you, that mystical power, is at work right now, working diligently. Your brain is at work right now, working diligently to bring forth the good that you have decreed, the good that you desire into your reality. As we know and affirm this truth together, let it be the truth that gives your soul such comfort and such peace. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Thank you, God, in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is. God bless you. Peace and blessings. We'll see you at the hour of blessings.